Wah, wah, wah. Ay, ay, ay. What's up, chat? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Welcome in. Welcome in, everyone. We can go ahead and turn on the music in here a little bit. Welcome in. So today, I thought let's do something. Let's do something cool. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Let's go through. Let's get. I haven't played this in a while. I have a lot of decks. Some of them are good. Some of them are not as good anymore because of meta shifts. The ones down here are the ones I haven't updated in a while because, like, Oops All Spells will have a very special place in my heart. This is the deck that got me to Mythic rank first time. In best of 3, mind you, because this deck rips in fucking best of 3. People do not expect it, but oh yeah, Nitro, it is time to fucking rip ass in Timeless. People do not expect the Oops All Spells combo, but just for to preface it, the options for what decks we can pilot to get up to Mythic, we can sort of shift around depending on which ones we want to do. But we have Oops All Spells, Delver Got Shanked, which is it Delver without Delver in it? Atraxa Combaka, which is blue-black tempo / reanimator, sort of the legacy scam reanimator that was very popular. Then we have Grueldrazi Thickums. This is just play the best Eldrazi in the format and whack people in the face, plus Chalice of the Void to punish the Twink decks. There's a lot of Twink decks in this format. Twink decks are things that I would describe as having primarily 1 and 2 drops, so that half of their entire deck gets just turned off by a single Chalice on 1, and then you land a Chalice on 2, and you just sweep the game, like, right there. It's very free, very easy, and that's why I have Eldrazi Anti-Twink, which is built completely around the idea of just asymmetrical punishing of decks. Because my mana curve on all of my good stuff is so high, I can just punish the fuck out of people who try and play really low to the ground with things like Chalice, with Karn's Silex turning off their fetch lands, and just get recursive value off of the really, really powerful cards like Chalice on 1, Vexing Bauble, stuff like that. And then we have Very Evil Goth deck. This is just a mono black stompy. Nothing too fancy about it. Just play the best black cards in the format. And then we have this one, which is exciting that I touched up today, which is Do You Have Force, more popularly known as Necro Sorin, because you play Necrodominance and Necropotence to find your Sorin, and it's just constantly slamming down massive threats like Atraxa, Saint Aledna, which is an Arena exclusive, which is why this deck is only very popular in Timeless, because Saint Aledna is such a strong vampire to just like Dark Ritual into a Sorin, Sorin -3 into a Saint. That's like the main game plan. That is an avenue to win. The other avenue is Entomb Reanimate, either an Atraxa or a Saint. And then the third one is like Beseech Shenanigans, which is just Beseech the Mirror, build up your Storm until you got Tendrils, for lethal, which is really kind of a cheesy play, but it works. And And then finally we have Oko Shaker of Ass, which actually, there we go. Oko Shaker of Ass. It's just your sort of a generic tempo deck featuring Oko Thief of Crowns. But really, it's Oko Thief of Crowns and Tameo Inquisitive Student that are they're the powerhouses. And then you just play like extremely high value cards like Psychic Frog, Orcish Bowmaster, Deathrite Shaman. Deathrite Shaman is so good. And then another arena exclusive Hydroponics Architect, which makes a lot of cards fetchable that weren't fetchable before. Like the best thing that could happen is Hydroponics Architect hits like a strip mine, and then you just have a fetchable strip mine. It's way too strong. It's busted. It should never have been allowed to be made. Anyway, let's start slamming out some. Yeah, for old time's sake, let's play a Oops All Spells, just for old time's sake. Ooh, yo 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 yo. And people don't expect it. Like, Oops All Spells is you have no experience with Magic. Unfortunately, you're showing the art and your descriptions. Yeah, that's fair. The art is very cool on a lot of these. The classic art, they do like some of the fancier art that I'm not a huge fan of. But ooh, look at this. It's just a usable hand. This is a fairly usable hand. We can keep this. We're going to Boggart Trawler tapped pass turn. Do I aggressively grief? If I aggressively grief, I reveal that I have the Balustrate and also take away a Black Pip from dumping it. But I would still have the Goblin Charbel. I think, you know what, that's smart. We grief, pitch one of the spies, reveal that we're in one land spy, but still rip turn 1 or 2 out of their hand, which was a good decision because we got their exploration turn 1. Incredibly strong play and the correct play in this situation, I think. Yep. Exiling Graveyard, that's fine. We got this Thassa's Oracle top deck. Not game ending, but also not good. It does remove the Balustrate Spy win, unless we get very lucky. But either way, I'm just going to... Well, no, it doesn't remove the Balustrate Spy win, but it makes the Spy win a little bit more difficult because we can't reanimate the Thasses. But what we can do instead... Okay, Aftermath. That's fine. Okay, we gotta reanimate. Yo. How do we play this? How do we play this? We pass it. We pass it and see what they do. I think they're gonna... Okay, they're gonna swing. They're not popping the Aftermath yet. Mills 2 cards, or turn a land card into your hand. I lose 2 life, they gain 2 life. And they drop a fetch. Not terrible. And they're surveilling. We can afford a Thoughtseize here. Let's take a peek. They didn't dump any creatures in there. Let's take a Thoughtseize, disrupt their hand a little bit. Take a peek. They got a Dismember. Yeah, I think we slow roll this for a second here. They're gonna fetch. I think they might pop the Aftermath here. Okay, we got the Sacrifice off, but we don't have any Sacrifice targets. A Grief wins us the game here. Yep. They're going to pop the Aftermath, get their lands back. They got Field of the Dead in there. They win this, unfortunately. So how do we counter this Turbo Land deck? Unfortunately, I think the only play is sort of ley lines. And then Vexing Bauble, maybe. Vexing Bauble counters their Griefs, which they may sideboard in, or their Surgicals. But they could just hardcast the Surgicals into a Vexing. So I don't think that's the play. I think we just have to sort of run it back with the ley line and pop off sooner. Let's weaken. Yeah, we put in the ley lines. We weaken the spy combo a little bit. Here's the counter to all text. Drive into their house, just look at them from your car, and then they have to call the police instead of win. Nitro, that's illegal. This would be good if I had any black mana source. So we're going to mulligan. This is a turn 1 win. We keep this. We dump that. We do done. We do this. We do pay 3 life. And then we grief. Exile one of the spies. Grief hits the board. We exile something from their hand. Weather the storm. We sacrifice auto pay grief. Get 4 mana. Balustrade Spy. Auto pay. Target myself. And swing in for lethal next turn. There we go. I had exactly lethal there. Because we're on the defense now, I think we put in Sanctities instead of that. There is something I've noticed with what is this? Is it automatically putting my stream into the shorts feed? What the hell? That's strange. I'll keep 7 here. I think it's automatically putting shit into shorts, YouTube shorts. Okay, they got a strip mine. And they scoop. They scoop at a ley line, you fucking dungus. They were positioned strongly. They had the strip mine. I had to fucking work around it. That could have been interaction, but they're a combo deck and they're a bitch. And they saw I was going to out combo them if it went into the long game. And they gave up because they do not have courage or the resolve of a victor. Eldrazi anti-tank. Can we? I'm gonna move the shroom over to the corner here. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit better. I recently redrew the shroom. Cloud Strife, the leader of the Twinks, against my anti-Twink deck. You're fucked. Coward behavior in StarCraft 2 days. We used to type Lamau at people for resigning like that. Yeah. I have a couple of good emotes saved up. Okay. This is a Twink deck through and through. I think the play is turn 1 Eldrazi Temple, keeping up Kozilek's command, depending on what we talk. This is a keeper. Turn 1 Kozilek's, turn 2 Thought Not Seer, turn 3. Okay, Chrome Mox. What are you imprinting, big boy? I know you a twink, so show me what your twink ass is gonna do. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Chrome Moxing a Brainstorm for a Ponder? They must be very stuck on land. Which is actually my advantage. So I'm tempted to actually push out the Karn Silex turn 2. If they're stuck on land the way I think they are, then Karn Silex is definitely the play. Let's Eldrazi Temple and pass turn. Chrome Mox again. They are just... Ooh, they are burning through their value. Unless this is a show and tell type deck. In which case... I'll just fucking drop a Sire 7 Deaths. Like, okay. I love show and tell. They're dinguses. Okay, they got the Force of Will, they got the Vexing Bauble, they got the Emrakul, they got the Omniscience. But they don't have a second show and tell, which means I can Thought Not Seer their Omniscience. There's... okay. Polluted Delta, dropping a Ponder. I have to think here. I have to think. I do think Karn Silex is the play. Turns off their Force of Will. If we Karns, we exile. I hit Wizards. I hate the Wizards War. What is this? Hold on. I hate the Wizards War. Someone said Sire 7 deaths or some shit and the twink exploded. Yeah. Let's do Kozilek's command for 0. And this will just scry 0 and draw a card. Okay. Now we have a tough decision. If we jam out the Vexing Bauble, we would prevent... What I'm going to do is I'm going to swing with Sire. And then we have to Ancient Tomb. They can Force of Will me, but if they Force of Will me, I'm hoping that the only card they have for the Force is... Yeah, if they Force of Will me, the only card they could pitch for the Force, hopefully, is the Omniscience. So let's see if this lands. If this lands, then we're golden. But this is if... Okay, Force of Will, they pitch Omniscience. Okay. They're going to Chrome Mox. They're going to Show and Tell with the Show and Tell. They have another Omniscience. Fucking bitch. Okay. Well, there's nothing I could do there. We put in the Warping Whales. We put in the Stone Brains. We take out Chalice of the Voids. Chalices are actually kind of bad in this matchup. I do not respect this player. They play Show and Tell. They are not worthy of respect. We will keep... We will... Petrified Hamlet, naming Steam... No, naming... Petrified Hamlet, naming Steam Vents... No, Scalding Tarn. Petrified Hamlet, naming Scalding Tarn, and Vexing Bauble on 1. Force a counter out. They got a Polluted Delta. Eldrazi. Pass turn. Thundering Falls. Pitching the Ancient Tomb, so I'm guessing they don't have... If they pitch the Ancient Tomb, they don't have the Show and Tell. Or they have an Ancient Tomb in hand. Alright, we... Ancient Tomb. Uncounterable Thought-Knot Seer. Either way, the Thought-Knot Seer lands. Thought-Knot Seer, we rip the Show and Tell. I'm okay with them having the Force, because the Force doesn't do anything to me. Their Scalding Tarn is useless. We can... Glaring Fleshraker to put some pressure on Ugin Slab, not pitching anything, and swing for 4. My turn. Petrified Hamlet. If they're smart, they have to... They have to crack the Misty Rainforest in response. But I think... Yeah. They have to crack the Misty Rainforest in response, otherwise I just ping that down. Yep. So I'm naming Misty Rainforest either way. That's their other fetch land, and then we drop another Thought-Knot Seer on their head. yoink that Force of Will. And I swing in for lethal next turn. They cannot top deck anything to win them the game, I do not think. They would need, like... Okay, they're digging with a Brainstorm. They would need to get something lucky with the Brainstorm. Yeah, that's game. Okay, once again on the back foot. Fair Macabre does nothing for me. Disruptor Flute is useless. Chalice just... I think we just have to run it back and hope they don't turn 1 me. Because they could turn 1 me, and if I do get turn 1'd, I would have to have... Sire in hand would be best. The only scenario where they turn 1 me and I live is if they turn 1 in Atraxa and I had Sire in hand, and then they would get massive value off the Atraxa, but I'd still be able to maybe pull it back. This is a risky keep. But it is a keep. We submit the Devourer for their consideration. Okay, they don't pop the Scalding Tarn turn 1. Holy Jesus. Okay, this is kind of fucked up. See, the thing I don't pick is getting exiled. But I think the correct choice is actually the Ancient Tomb. Oh, that fucking sucks, dude. Oh. The correct choice is the Ancient Tomb. Like, One Ring in hand, Karn Silex in hand. The correct choice is the Ancient Tomb, unfortunately. But it sucks that 3 of the 4 okay, 3 of the 4 things are already dead. Vexing Bauble, bait out a Force of Will or a Daze. Can't do a Daze. If they do a Daze, I pay for it. If they do Force of Will, I drop the other one. I think it's going to be Force of Will. If they had Daze, yep, there's Force of Will. Resolve that. Drop the second Vexing Bauble. Eat their second Force of Will. Nope, they don't have it. Perfect. The best turn 2 for me right now is Karn Silex. Turn off all their fetch lands. Turns off their fetch lands, doubles up on the Force of Will. They don't have a play. We... Ancient Tomb, Glaring Flesh Raker... And then... Kozilek's Command on... 1? Bottom that. Petrified Hamlet. And turn. Perfect. They Misty Rainforest, which is a dead card on board. My turn. Petrified Hamlet. And we win. Get fucking... Ooh! Ooh! Get stomped on. Eldrazi wins. Eldrazi fucking wins. Yeah! Yay, a pack of Hobbity Hobbit cards. Whatever this thing is. Rip this one open. What do we get? Whenever this attacks, amass 2 goblins. Flying when this enters recruit. 2-drop, 1/1 haste when this enters amass. 2-drop, 2/2 on 2 bodies. That's kind of good. What's this? Exile 1 target creature land you control. If you do, return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. Flicker decks would like that, but I do not care for that strategy or for EDH. Let's play some Do You Have Force? It's a good idea to get a experience in a variety of decks. And also, Do You Have Force is just, it's insane value. Although I do like my anti-twink deck, it's not as competitive as some others. Not so, like, underpowered, but there are, I guess, more meta picks. My Eldrazi anti-twink is more of an anti-meta. It's very strong, but it is weak to land destruction, and I don't know. We'll see. Okay. We have Blooming Marsh turn 1 into Sorin. Okay, this is a workable hand. Turn 1 Blooming Marsh Grief, take their play. Vampire, yeah, okay. There's a plan in my brain that is being formulated. We grief, take a peek at their hand. They have Force of Negation, Mystical Tutor into the Floodmaw. Insert Sorcery Shuffle. They're going to do some Reanimator bullshit. But I would prefer to yoink the Force of Negation. Well, no. I can yoink the Reanimate, eat the Force Tutor with the Beseech instead, but I'd have to draw another land. But if I take their Reanimate now, they have to 2-for-1 themselves to stop my Vampiric Tutor, which I think is the play. And also that eats their Force of Negation. Oh, wait, but I'm doing the Vampiric Tutor on their turn. This changes things. Now we do... If we do Sorin to the top... I'm thinking. If we do Sorin to the top, draw into a Sorin, weak to the Force on both fronts. If we yoink the Reanimate, we can offensively reanimate whatever they pitch in the grave, which may be the move, depending. I'll take a Sorin. It's a weaker play. Let's try it. Let's send out a Dark Writ, see if they stop it. They're not gonna. We're gonna try and Sorin. They're going to counter the Sorin. As expected. And then they fetch, surveilling a land away. I think grabbing the sword there may have been a misplay, but either way, I wouldn't have been able to dodge the force of negation. They're going to, okay, they're going to reanimate grief my hand. They're going to grief they would be smart to grief the besiege. And they are, okay. But now we have a vampiric. They're going to mystical tutor. Revealing, what are they revealing? Depending on what they reveal, will inform how I use this vampiric. They reveal a daze. Ugh. If I jam the vampiric into the daze, I'm top decking again. Which is a play to eat their daze when I'm stuck on one land, but it's not ideal. I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, I'm on a clock and we're top decking. I feel as though I win the top deck war. They surveil. What are they surveilling away? They decline to surveil. I have 2 turns. They brainstorm. They have duress. Okay. Now, okay, this is a shenanigan. It is kind of goofy, but it may win me the game, and it's going to have to be the thing that I do. We Darkboard Pathway, Chrome Mox pitching the Saint. We beseech the mirror, bargain. Do they counter, or do they have a different instant in hand? If they counter here, then I'm just dead. Yeah, that is it. Only thing that could save me now is top decking or reanimate. Actually, no. Top decking reanimate doesn't even win me anything. I just fucking kill myself if I reanimate. Okay, go to game 2. It was goofy. I think we put in the Vexing Baubles. Vexing Baubles, we can drop a sacrifice, drop down a grief and a beseech. Leyline I'm not too worried about. Especially being on the offense. They're twinking thinking. There we go. Okay. Play first. What do we got? We got... Grief Pitch Necro Dominance. Play the Blooming Marsh. Turn 1. Okay. This is a workable hand, and they fucked me. Okay. Let's see if they counter. They don't counter yet. If they have the days, we pay for the days. If they don't have the days, we take the force and go fuck ourselves. Spell Pierce instead. Okay. Uh-oh. Is the stream fucked? No, stream is fine. Why is it giving me issues here? Ooh, sorry. Sorry. Doomsday. Stream's good. Okay. They are doomsdaying me. They're doomsdaying themselves. So I... I can't beseech them to death. I can't grief them. A lot of my interaction is dead. I can't reanimate anything. I think I lose this. The fuck is Nitro? What the hell is that? Oh. Fucking hell. Okay, fuck it. Turn off display capture. Properties. There. Okay. Now I can do whatever the fuck I want, and it won't. Ah, okay. Yeah, we're fucked. This is a unfun matchup. Well, not unfun, but unwinnable. Let's go back to anti-twink. I like the anti-twink. Anti-twink is always good to me. That's what I want to do. I want to just stomp on twinks all the way up to mythic. It's a very thinky deck, the anti-twink deck, because it is very much a deck about identifying what deck you're playing against, thinking of what lines they have to win with, and using all available information to disrupt their line. It's Korean for like let's go is pronounced Huaiting. Okay. Falco. Okay, this is definitely a twink. Turn 1 vexing, turn 2 glaring. I like this. I like this hand. It's not insanely good, but it is relatively good. Why are we in space? Why is Magic being played in space? And they griefed me off the bat. That's lovely. They may take the Vexing Bauble, because that's my turn 1. Gotta be creative with what you type. Okay. This is hand disruption. Yeah, they're taking my Vexing Bauble on turn 1. And there's some sort of blue-black list. Watery Grave. Do we see an Entomb? No, we get a Reanimate. Motherfucker. Do they take the Ring or the Glaring? Glaring is... they're both really strong. I don't know. Okay, they take the Ring. Understandable pick. Let's lead off with an Eldrazi Temple. And then turn 2, we Carns. And Strip Mine. Fuck. They're gonna play a second Strip Mine. I'm gonna hate myself. No? Island? Hydroponics. Hello, Minas. We go Ancient Tomb, Thought Not Seer. Yoink there. Ooh. Yoink their Force? They top deck. If I kill their Grief... Okay. What I can do, and this is a bit risky, is Ugins into Devourer, into Fleshraker, and Carnes. This is a cunt. Why did my mana tap this? What? Why did my mana tap that way? Why did it pay for the glaring with the... I'm gonna kill somebody. This game is so fucking dumb. And they're gonna Entomb Reanimate. I'm gonna kill myself. Fuck this. I cannot believe this fucking game. So, the mana that they produced, 2 of it could only be spent on Eldrazi, and 2 of it could only be spent on anything. But it used the mana that could only be spent on... It used the mana that could be spent on anything first, because it's stupid, and it wants to fuck me over. This game is dumb. I hate it. Very macabres and unlicensed terse. We can go down to Sire. We can go down a Thought-Knot Seer. I guess I just have to manually spend all mana all the goddamn time. This fucking thing. The fucking thing. Gameplay. No auto tap. Full control on. We petrify. Okay, devour. Devour. Let's just get. Devour lets us get Vexing. Vexing is kind of useless. I misplayed this. I've already misplayed this, and the game hasn't even started yet. I'm gonna fucking die. Farewell. That one is not even that I lost. That's that I am ashamed to continue that game for the misplay that I've done. Frowning at myself. What the hell? Alright, Anti-Twink. Let's actually play Anti-Twink correctly and think about all my moves before it's just clicking buttons. Oh, yeah. Also, I should look up. Oh. Whoa. What? Hello? What happened? Eldrazi Anti-Twink. Let's go, baby. They had a Nahiri profile. This is a guaranteed mulligan. This is a keep, and we bury the Sire. I like taking the Sire here, but I like the Cavern of Souls better. I think the play is Ugin's Lab, Pitch Devourer, Chalice on one, and pass turn. Now, no matter what they play, all one drops are now dead. Landfall? I'm baffled. I'm I'm genuinely basic forest into a chocobo. And then they concede? What? I do not have enough information to sideboard correctly. I'm leaving things how they are. And they've conceded the match. That's okay. I mean, fuck, we take this, I guess. They play a 1-drop into a chalice on 1 and then concede the match. I I don't know what to do with that. Listen, I instantly concede some, they instantly concede some. It's fine. Corn profile picture. Petrified Hamlet on Strip Mine. Play Vexing Bauble on 1 with no. Cavern of Souls. I don't like this hand either, but it's a little bit better. I think we tuck the cavern and then devour, dig for some land. Devour, dig for the Eldrazi Temple, we Library of Alexandria, and pass turn. They do not strip mine us off the bat. They play Chrome Mox, and they're probably in mono black, so we're gonna get a. Oh, we don't. Cool. We don't actually get obliterated right off the bat. Either land I play here is going to reveal that I'm playing Eldrazi, so might as well just get the Eldrazi here, reveal it, then Chalice on 1. And we're taking a Orcish Bowmaster, question mark? Orcish Bowmaster, end of turn. Yes. Okay, this turn they have abandoned. Okay. They can Ancient Tomb something like, okay. Barrow-goyf. And they're fatal pushing their own. Oh, that was a smart move. Get the Barrow-goyf up to a 1/2. I think the play here is Eldrazi Temple for sure. Kozilek's on 0 would pop the army. Kozilek's on 2 would pop the Bowmaster. Kozilek's on 2, pop Bowmaster, make a. Yeah, okay. Kozilek's on 2. And then make two, do. And then we have a chump blocker for... We have a chump blocker for the Barrowgoyf. Actually, no blocks. If we have no blocks here, then next turn we drop the Devourer. Next turn we drop the Devourer. Devourer kills the Barrowgoyf. They could drop the Boggart Trawler, blow up my graveyard, but I don't care about my graveyard. They could kill a spawn here if they felt so obliged, but I don't think they will. And then we Devour. Devour, blow up their Barrowgoyf. Alright. They are doing graveyard bullshit. Unlicensed Hearse is good. Fairy Macabre can be good in response to a Reanimate. Dismember could be okay, but I don't like the amount of damage I'd be taking for it. Warping Whales can go down. Vexing Bauble. How much free stuff are they really trying to play? Let's go down the Vexing Baubles, put in a Dismember, and the Unlicensed Hearse and Graveyard Hate. Wonderful. Wonderful hand. Submit the 1. They're gonna grief. Resolve. What did they pitch? They pitched a Felda Profane. They can yoink something. If they're smart, they yoink the fairy. They're taking a peek at the Kozilek's command. I think we go for the... They were afraid of the Kozilek's command for some reason, which makes me want to take it. And I don't need the Cavern. So I'm feeling Kozilek's. For that reason, we will Ugins. Ugins pitching Devourer. And Intern. More Ancient Tombs. Okay. If they reanimate, I Fairy Macabre. If they strip mine, I cry. Swamp cycling. Okay, swamp cycling, grabbing a swamp, dropping the swamp, Barrogoyf. In response to the Barrogoyf, Fairy Macabre. Resolve. End of turn. End of turn. 2 Scions, Scry 2. Bottom top. Done. My turn. It's Devour. Pay the Devourer cost. Blow up the Barrogoyf. And they have the One Ring that they didn't draw off of. I think they're worried about the damage from the Barrow or from the One Ring because they're not quite okay. They got the Shieldred. They can feel a bit better about not dying to the One Ring now. Two, 4, 6, 7, 6, 7. Okay. Sire of 7 Deaths. And swing in with the Devourer. They have to block here, otherwise they're dead next turn. Do the huh? They're looking for an out. They're allowed to like kill the sire, take 7, and then die next turn. They're allowed to do that. That's a play they can do. They can ping themselves down. Okay, you're gonna grief me. I don't see what griefing me is going to achieve other than seeing that I don't have anything in my hand. I think they're just looking for an out at this point that they're not really gonna find. Library. One ring. Okay. They're ring cycling. That's a play. That is actually a good play. 2, 4, 5, 6. If I Karn Silex, I can blow up the ring next turn. If I don't, I can yoink back the Devourer. I'm just saying, how risky do I want to play this? I have another game. I can play this a little bit risky, and I think go down 2 for the Karns. I have to slow play it anyway because of the ring. I think they're banking on ring cycling, and I'm going to take that bet that they can't ring cycle next turn. They're going to Orcish. Who are they Orcishing? They're Orcishing me to the face. Swamp Cycling the Troll. Now the moment of truth. Did they find another ring? If they found another ring, they take the game. When did I start playing? I started playing... When did Ravnica block come out? Resolve. Return to Ravnica came out... Return to Ravnica came out... 2012? Yeah. And they're ring cycling. Fuck me. Gonna have to draw, take 2. And then Karn Silex for 4. Yeah, so I've been playing Magic since 2012. Some competitive Magic, some tournaments, but not too much. Mostly just like Friday Night Magic. And I do like the Eternal formats, like Legacy. Ooh, reanimating. Okay, they need to find another ring. If they don't find another ring, I take this game back next turn. Or they need to find one of what. Fucking hell! Jesus Christ! How do they have they found every fucking? Yes, they went through every one ring in their entire deck. Fuck you. They have 34 cards in their hand, and they've. They got incredibly lucky just cycling through every single one ring in their deck. They're a piece of shit, and they should fucking feel bad about themselves. Fucking gloves are coming off. It's time to beat some twink ass motherfucker. I literally the only reason they won there was luck. All 4 copies of the One Ring Just cycling that bitch all the way through. I like this hand a lot better than the last hand. Turn 1, Chalice. Turn 2, Thought Knot. Yeah, this is a good hand. We put back the Sire. We dig with the Devourer. Devourer, we grab 1 ring. We can afford the 1 ring because we don't have too much going on. Chalice on 1. And turn. Turn 2, Thought Knot Seer. Yoink something from their deck. Turns off their Thought Seizes, turns off their Fatal Pushes, turns off their Duresses, turns off their Reanimates and Entombs, turns off their Surgical Extraction, maybe, if they put that in. Are they being a bitch? I think they're being a bitch. I think, yeah. They just fucking pass the entire turn with the land in hand. They are being a bitch and wasting the time because they know they've lost. Motherfucker, you could have griefed me. What are you doing? Are they... They may have just clicked continue and walked away from their computer. I think that is what's going on. They are aware that they only won because they're lucky bastard, and now they can't play out game 3. And look at that, platinum tier. I can't believe that salty motherfucker was my rank up game. God damn. Okay. Well, we got to platinum tier. Not quite mythic tier. The matches don't actually get harder. But there are just a different shuffle of people. Because like my MMR is still already pretty high. That really doesn't affect things as much as ooh. Your rank doesn't affect things as much as your MMR. My MMR is pretty high because I have gotten to like numbered mythic before. This is a strong hand, but nothing on turn 1 to do, so I'm gonna mulligan. I go first, but I wanna fucking mulligan. 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 Concede. Go to game 2. Okay, have a good one, Nitro. Good luck at solo chambies. Ooh, much better hand. Turn 1 Ugins, turn 2... Or would it be better? Turn 1 Ancient Tomb Chalice, give up less information, and then Petrified Hamlet on the strip for a glaring... I think that's the play. I think the 2 damage is worth the obscuring of information for a turn. And we do eat a strip, as expected, which is why we Petrified Hamlet naming strip. And now it's like the game started over again, but they can't play 1-drops or strip mines. Today, 4131 will click and will say, the great Olmathan. And I will slay the great Olmathan. Okay. Olma Thurman will be dead. Psychic Frog. If I Ancient Tomb, take 2, Thought Not Seer. This is still potentially countered. They Force of Will. We resolve. We go next turn. And no blocks. End turn. That's a very actually a fairly weak. Well, it's an indication that they are scared. They are not taking an aggressive line, even though they are swinging in. If they were being as aggressive as I think they would be trying to get the kill on a glaring Fleshraker by baiting out a block first. Instead, what they're doing is sending the Psychic Frog in the air and drawing a card. They actually, what they've done is they've pitched all their 1-drops, didn't they? My turn. Now, what we could do is Ugins Lab Sire. Could Ugins Lab Sire, or we could 2, 4. If we Ugins Lab on and decline, we could Chalice the Void on 2. Chalice on 2, and then Thought Not Seer. Now the question is, can they top deck enough to kill me? Can they top deck something to kill me? Because if they can't, I drop the Sire next turn, and I don't think they have any direct damage cards. Polluted Delta. Hmm. Now, they have to figure out a way to do 2 damage to me. They cannot evade my Sire with the Frog. They cannot kill the Sire without taking 7. They can kill the Sire, but I doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay, blue-black reanimator scam type thing. Warping whales are good. Vexing baubles are good. Karns are good. Glarings are good. Sires are okay. Devourers are good. Everything here is like I just have a good matchup. We can drop the one ring, and I think ooh, a warping whale. I think, yeah. I just have a good matchup against this deck. It's the graveyard hate is not super necessary if I pop off with the chalice. That is the big one I do want to find though, is a chalice on turn 1. Well, now Vexing Bauble on Petrified Hamlet into Cavern for chalice on 1 is an equally strong start. Petrified on Strip. And a Vexing Bauble on 1. Force them to counter. They do not. We have turned off their forces and their dazes. They have a hydroponics. We can go Cavern on Eldrazi, Chalice on 1. We can Library into Karns, turn off their fetch lands. So now the hydroponics really isn't doing much. And then we can Cavern, Eldrazi, 1 ring. They are swamp cycling. I do this. If we put Karns on, no. Force them to start pitching. And if they're dumb, they'll overcommit. They're not so dumb. Okay. They are wait, hold on. They're pitching all their one drops? Motherfucker, I have the Karn Silex. What are you doing? Dingus? Confirmed Dingus? Barrow Draw off the Vexing. Dunk the Sire in the bin. Activate the One Ring. I think the correct play is Glaring Fleshraker. In turn. Hydroponics, that's fine. I like the Sire here. However, yeah, I like the Sire here. I'm gonna force the Karns. And we swing in with the Glaring. And we end turn. And they top decked a Scalding Tarn, which they can probably get another draw off of. Yep, they're gonna. I think they're gonna loop the hydroponics. What? They're gonna loop these fetch lands with the hydroponics effect on it. No, they actually went for a strip mine. I guess the strip mine got hit twice, so they got 2 draws off of it. They're gonna fatal push. And then Harbinger of the Seas. I can work with this. We swing in with the Sire. Do they block? They block with the Tameo. I gain 7 up to 10. No? Okay. Now, we cannot play too much. What we can do, however, is drop another Sire, just like hard cast a Sire off the islands, or we crank the One Ring. Anything with double colorless pips goes in the bin. Petrified Hamlet can also go. I have 1 colorless pip to work with. There we go. That's game. You might be able to kill 1 fucking Sire 7, but you can't kill 2 Sire 7s. Okay. I gotta go for a bit. I'm gonna go make lunch. I'm gonna do some other things. Thanks everyone who stopped by. We got up to what rank did we get up to? Platinum rank. Yeah, platinum rank. Look at that. We're gonna get up to mythic. Here in about 5 days. Jeez, we have 5 days to get up to mythic. Yeah, we can grind that out. We'll grind it out. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Thanks everyone who stopped by. We'll keep grinding up to mythic in a few days-ish.